Hi, okay, so we're back for meal number 4. This is optimized meal number 4 of the day. The last one of the day, and it's dinner. So it's basically going to be meat and vegetables, and we need to make sure that we're bringing up our micronutrient content, and that we're optimizing our like we have fat in here, but that we really get this protein in our stable protein. I know it seems like a lot of protein. Gosh, it's hard for me to talk about. I've been off protein for so long. But I really think being in ketosis is too much about oils and you're really missing out on your micronutrients. And I think that you're not getting enough to rebuild and replenish. When you're ill, you really need to rebuild your body. Your body needs proteins. It needs to make amino acids. It needs to rebuild each cell, each fiber, the muscles, everything. So we don't want to have like massive growth where we're encouraging like cancer growth and all of these things. That's why we're detoxing with a lot of water. We're making sure that our animals are grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic. But we do need that protein when we're ill. And people like Natasha Campbell McBride and the GAPS diet and Whole30, and there's like so many healing diets that have, and paleo that have protein at the core. It's not just beef. We're not just eating a lot of meat. Even though this diet is a little bit more heavy in protein than I usually do, I just have really found that this is bringing up my energy. So anyways, this is the diet that I think is best right now and that I'm following every day to make sure that I'm maximizing my macronutrients and my micronutrients. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is get our measuring cup and we want to do leeks. So onions can be a lot of sulfur. They're a great food, but when you're having problems with your phase 2 detox, a lot of sulfur can mess things up. So I've been on low sulfur diets before and they are very beneficial. So I try not to include tons of sulfur. Okay, even though it's great for detoxifying, it really can flare a lot of symptoms if your detox 2 pathways are closed. Anyways, that's why I'm using leeks. I realize they're in the same family. There's just a little bit less sulfur in there in leeks. So, okay, so I'm gonna get my my wonderful, I don't know if you can see it, my cast iron pan. I have 2 going here, the bottom and the half top of it. So a half a cup of leeks, okay? We're just gonna pour it in, right? And I'm gonna tip this up to see if you can see what's going inside. Whoops, let's see, just like so. All right, so we're gonna do carrots again because carrots give us all those micronutrients that we're looking for, and they're giving us the carbs. And remember, we're only having about 20 grams of carbs, but these are really low sugar, healthy, super amazing kind, okay? We're not gonna do too much of these. Again, we're gonna do a half a cup. That's it, so we're just doing a half a cup, and into the pan we go. Mushrooms, okay? So we want a cup of mushrooms. They're really great for our immune system. They cook down super great. So there's a cup. We want to use a cup of mushrooms, okay? So half cup of leeks, half cup of carrots, 1 cup of mushrooms, 1 cup of cauliflower. So you can get fresh, but I find it's easy to have frozen on hand because it's easy to do this. Another tip would be if you do a whole bunch up at once and then you bag them individually for like the week. So 7 days, 5 days, whatever you want. I usually like to take the weekends off and be a little bit more flexible. But for at least 5 days, you could put all of what I'm putting in here in a baggie and do it 5 times, stick it in your freezer, and then you have it. So 1 cup cauliflower, 1 cup broccoli. Of course, I'm using all organic ingredients. That goes without saying because we want to, you know, limit our toxins and we don't want glyphosate. So 1 cup broccoli. This is a 2 cup measuring cup, by the way. And of course, spinach, we're gonna do 1 cup, and it shrinks down really nice and great. So there's a cup in there, and that'll shrink right down. Okay, so that's all the vegetables that we're gonna have. And I know you're looking at it saying, how can I possibly eat all these vegetables? Well, they shrink down. They'll keep you full. They're just super healthy. This is all your micronutrients here. Sorry. Okay, so this is all your micronutrients in here that we need, and this is filling to our daily value so that we're getting all our folate, our vitamin C, you know, everything that we need. So that's what we want. We want to cook that in 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. So now we have our oil for the day. So far we haven't used oil, so this is great, healthy oil. It's gonna help our brain and increase our fat content a little. Okay, and then we have bone broth. So 1 cup of bone broth. So you can either saute everything in the bone broth, or you can cook bone broth separately and sip on it for dinner instead of your water. So like just a hot, you know, sort of nourishing. This is a beef broth that I've made up, and we're just gonna do 1 cup of it. So that's 1 cup. So I can either put it in a cup, like I said, and sip it, or I'll use it in here to cook. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the last item is our meat. Okay. So for today, I have stewing beef. This is organic and grass-fed stewing beef that comes from a farm that I love, a local farm here. Should do a video out there when I'm at the farm. Anyways, going to pick this stuff up. So she's wonderful. And so this here is 0.482 kilograms. So nearly half a kilogram, which this roughly, when I'm eyeballing this, this roughly if a third of this would be about 5 ounces, and we're looking for about 5 ounces of meat for dinner. I know that seems like a lot, but that's what we want. So we can weigh it on our scale, just to be sure. I'll just put my scale up here and turn it on. Put a paper towel down. Make sure it reads at 0. And I'm just gonna take this out of the package and cut it into thirds, because that's pretty much what I think is gonna be our 5 ounces. And this is stewing beef, so it's a little frozen still, but it'll come up hurt when I'm cooking it. Okay, so that's about a third. So I'm just gonna set this on here. Okay, so that's 4.1 ounces. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more. That's 4.7, and I'll take 1 more piece. So that's 5 ounces. So I like to get at least 5 ounces. You can do in between 5 and 6 for dinner. This is what it looks like. So it was about a third of that package. This is what's left from the package. You can see, it's about a third of that. So just take a look, and it's all chunked apart now. So of course it looks even bigger. So you can go ahead and put this in a separate pan, or put it right in there. I like to do it in a separate pan sometimes, so I can monitor that the vegetables don't get overcooked. But I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in there for sake of simplicity. So there we go. This is the meal. You're gonna cook it up. I know it looks huge right now because a lot of it's raw. It will cook down. Go ahead and eat this. You'll find it's delicious, it's filling, and it's gonna be great to get everything in that you need. I promise you're not gonna be hungry, and you're not gonna snack in the evening because you're gonna be super full. Remember, by dinner time, you need to have had the 2 mason jars full of water. They need to be done before you eat your dinner. After dinner, we want to call it off. You can have a little more water just to thirst, but we're not pounding back the water anymore. We don't want to disrupt our sleep. We don't want to be waking every hour, every couple hours to have to go to the bathroom. So we want to call the water and the food off by 6:30 at the latest. So that means aim for a 5:30 dinner. 6 o'clock would be the latest dinner that I would probably go to. We want to be done our eating at 6:30 so that we can have a few hours to rest and digest before we're in bed by 9:30. So I know it seems like a lot, but this is definitely a healing meal, and it's going to sustain you. It's going to fill you up. It's going to be nourishing, detoxifying, building, and it will cover all of your micronutrient bases from start to finish. If you go back and look at the meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and meal 4, we do have it covered, and it's within a very small window of food. So we have cut out all the inflammatory foods, and we are sticking to the anti-inflammatory and the healing type foods only. Okay, so this is it. This is meal number 4, the last one of the day, just 4, okay? Great.